let's have an update on what's happening today. So we cleaned the logs with blowers. We blew out all of the dust from all the sanding. So we had been sanding on all the logs, sanding, buffing, and then we blew everything out of the doors. Now we shut the doors and got some heaters going, and we got my wife and my son and Foster, others taping and cleaning the logs with rags. Let's have a look. Foster is masking the windows. He's a master masker. So he uses this special masking plastic to cover the windows and tape them tightly so we don't have any varnish getting on the windows. We're preparing to varnish, coat the finish on the inside of the logs. All right, let's have a look around. I started the heaters, the propane heaters. These are temporary heaters to keep heat in here so it's nice and warm. We like to have about 70 degrees Fahrenheit to varnish the logs. And here is the product. Timber Pro Crystal Urethane Satin. That's our plant-based pro grade interior wood finish. All right. So the masking's going on. Let's see what happened over here. First we blew the sawdust out, then we vac a lot of the areas with this shop vac, and now we are taking water and rags and washing down the surface of the logs. Any final dust is taken off. So this room's been done, and these rooms are masked. Except this masking needs to be fixed. It fell down. So we'll have to retape it. We blew it and it fell off. So these walls have been cleaned and ready for the varnish. Let's have a look upstairs. It's pretty warm up here from the heaters. Our son Jariah and my wife Rebecca are washing logs, except she's on her phone. So we'll let her do whatever she needs to do. So we take the pail of water and we just wash the logs off real quickly. It doesn't take long, but it takes all the dust off the surface. Now let's have a look, see what Philip is doing. I think he's still here. I caught you on the top of a ladder. So Philip is doing the chinking. You almost got that wall done. Let's have a closer look. I'm gonna pull this in where he caulked all the joints.
There you can see that hole.
That's how the pros do it. So let's have a look over here. So this end is all done, or on this side?
Yeah.
If you look at every splice, every joint of where logs join together, there's a caulking chinking. Now, in a couple days or a couple weeks, that color of that chinking will change a little bit. It looks almost like tan or yellow right now, but it turns to almost the color of those logs. After a while, it mellows out and blends into that color. So it's called conceal. It's made to hide, so you don't see the caulking, but it sure trims it out nicely. This is how he fills his chink gun out of the bucket. Sucks it up. Sucking that up like a boss. People ask me if I'm going to chink their house. I have to keep from laughing. I say no. I'm not going to chink your house. I'm good at some things, but I'm not going to chink your house. It is something I'm not good at. So I let the pros like Philip do that. That thing snaps back on. Easy to use, hard to see. The easy to use part, I don't know, it's not very easy for me to use, but maybe it's easier for Philip to use. Well, it's time to get some staining done, varnishing done. Good morning. We got the crew sanding the logs. So we've got one coat of the plant-based varnish applied, and we got the family here sanding lightly above the first coat to make it smoother to take the next coat. Let's have a look at what's been happening and how it looks with one coat on it. This is Victoria. This is not her regular job, but she's got the little sanding block. Show them the sanding block you've got and feel it with your finger. See, it's kind of rough. And that little sanding block is kind of squishy foam, like it's soft, made of foam. And that sanding block, when you rub it on the walls, go ahead and rub it on the walls, it makes the texture very smooth. Like I said, the whole house has one coat of varnish on the walls, so it soaks in a lot, and then it has a slightly rough feel to it because that's the nature of varnish. And then it's like a sanding sealer. It brings out the grains, and then that sanding block makes it really smooth. Now this is the master bedroom, and that's Victoria, this is Jana. Okay, you want to make sure you rub it the length of the grain. Not up and down, just the length of the grain this way. Yeah, back and forth, not up and down. This, of course, is Rebecca. And what does Rebecca think of her new bedroom here?
It's nice. Can't wait till it's done.
How do the logs feel when they're sanded? Are they smooth now?
It definitely feels a little smoother, yep.
And then the window frames, this is a trim that we cut ourselves called the jam extensions. On the surface of the main floor, part of the main floor, we're gonna have a dark stained trim on the face. But we got the natural trim, the extension jams of fir and larch that we cut ourselves. Okay, this is One coat. Let's go and see how the house looks like with the one coat on it. This is the archway going into the master bedroom. Let's feel the smoothness. It's not bad. We sand it well before we varnish, but like there's a rough feeling surface. And that sandpaper will definitely take that off. So we like to go one coat of varnish and then sand it, and then 3 more. Okay. This is Rebecca's sewing room. I gave her a nice thick mantle here, 3 inches thick, 16 inches wide mantle shelf to set things. Out that door, that opening, which is 8 feet wide, will be like a bay room, like an angled angle wall with glass out there to let light into her sewing room, and also a place to sit, and just a beautiful timber frame glass area going out. So that's why this room is a little dark until we have lights and some glass. This is the archway going into the main great room. It's pretty smooth, but like I said, it's got to be sanded now. This will be the fireplace. So part of it, the wall behind the stove, that's a temporary stove. Part of the wall is not sanded or varnished because there will be a rock against the wall up to the 2 chimneys. This chimney will feed the stove right here, and that chimney feeds the stove in the basement. Now, we're not going to have a fireplace. We're going to have like a rock cave with an arch rock area and a hearth to put the new stove in. So we'll have like a rock with a stove. You can see there's a coat of varnish on it, even though it drank in a lot. I had to get up on that scaffold last night to reach the top with the sprayer wand. This is a 4-inch by, I think about 18-inch and about 18 feet long window bench for plants and to sit by the front glass. It's not too bad, but again, it's got to be sanded. All right. This is the dining room. Also has a window bench and a shelf on top. Kitchen. This is not varnished or sanded because it's the cabinets go against it. I might throw a coat of varnish on it just to kind of seal it. We normally do that, but I didn't bother sanding it because it'll be covered. And then the base cabinets go all the way to here. There's a refrigerator, and then there's in between. We did sand in between between the upper cabinets and the lower cabinets are sanded and varnished. I'll show you the purpose of sanding the logs before varnish, because they look like this. Sometimes there's markings on them, a little dirt from construction. They're rough. Even though they've been sawn, this got into some dirt, which we kind of cleaned off. It took a lot of cleaning to get the logs, the flat logs, looking nice and clean like this. This has been sanded. And before this, it looked like this. You can see the difference. That's a saw feeling from the sawmill, and just some dirt and things from construction. So it had to be cleaned off the area that you can see. So that's why the interior of our log homes, they have to be buffed with a nylon power bristle brush is what we mostly use, and sanders. Like that's been sanded up there. See how nice and clean that is compared to the log below it, which will not be seen, will not be visible. So those are all clean up there. Trim's all been cleaned. Of course, that's been lightly sanded. Here, Foster is sanding the logs after the first coat of varnish. Oh, that feels really good. That's the pantry. Okay, let's take a hike upstairs and turn this heat off. Okay. This room's got 2 coats of varnish. And that was already sanded after the first coat. So this is really, really smooth. Hey, Macy. That's her little family Shih Tzu. She's in the family room right now. I'll go in there. Macy, let's go. I put this plywood here to keep the paint from coming, a stain spray from overspray from coming in here, but this is where Philip's been chinking. This is completed. It's got the 4 coats on it. Victoria will probably be sleeping here Macy will probably be sleeping here in Victoria's room. She takes turns sleeping with the girls. This is a door that's going throughout the house. It's a, I think it's called a shaker door. That will be throughout the house. We just have one. All the doors are on order. Bathroom there. Come, Macy. Let's go. Let's go upstairs. Come on. This is going up to the tower, the 4th floor. You like it up here, Macy? Hmm? Yeah, she likes it. She likes it. This is not the finished floor. This will be a circle sawn Douglas fir. So this has been chinked. Philip completed the chinking in the tower. All the seams, vertical and horizontal, have been chinked, as well as some of the cracks that have appeared, like in the log. It's got chinking to seal them off. So this is the completed look of 4 coats of varnish and chinking. Let's have a closer look at this wall. All right, I better go down there and help them get the sanding done so we can put the 2nd coat on the rest of the house. To clarify, this tower, the 4th floor here, and about half of the upstairs, I did first. I got all the 4 coats on them earlier. That was last week. I got it completed so that Philip can start chinking. So this area is done. I don't have to varnish it anymore. He's working on it right here. There's chinking. There is not. He puts the chinking right in there. You notice the flat walls here? We have that option available. In our house, we did flat walls on some of the walls and the standard hand-peeled log on some of the walls. So this is chinking too. So see the different look? Round, flat. We don't really recommend flat. They're actually a little bit more expensive. They're actually more complicated to build. This is a surprising thing that we've discovered. It is more complicated and more expensive for us to build with a flat wall than with a round wall. There's a number of reasons for it. And there's more complexities to it. There's more to look after to get the walls straight, to get the walls nice. You have more checking that wants to appear, things like that. I won't get into that right now, but anyhow, we did some of the walls flat and some of the walls round because it's a nice mixture. And we did some round beams and some square beams. Okay, I get distracted with all these rabbit trails. Let's go down. I gotta help them get sanded so I can varnish. Like I said, that area behind that door is all got the 4 coats all done. I got it done first so that Philip can chink and get going on the chinking. And this area from this way forward has 1 coat. I gotta go 3 more. And we sand only after the first coat. And then I put 3 more on without sanding, and then we're done. Okay, gotta hop to it. What do you say, Macy? I'm pretty excited because Foster and I are getting ready to spray the last coat of varnish on the house. We did 2 coats on the whole house, ready for the 3rd coat. Let's have a look and see what's happening. And Rebecca's in there doing some last minute sanding. Let's go check out, see what my bride's up to in here. Okay. So Rebecca, tell our viewers what you're doing here.
I'm just doing a little sanding on top of this big beam here. It's like a little sill or shelf on top of my sewing room doorway, which I'm super excited about.
This feels smooth
It's
now.
nice now, I think it's good.
So I'm going to talk to you about what we did different in this. In my house, we learned something that we're doing differently than before. We were going with 4 coats. We've cut that down to 3. And for our viewers, we're going to go with 3 coats from now on because we discovered something. We're always seeming to learn with the varnish what works better. So what happened is we were having a hard time getting our finishes to be smooth without a lot of sanding in between coats, and we're looking to put a lot of body on it so there's nice and smooth for the customer, so the finished product is nice and smooth, doesn't have any rough feel to it. So we decided to pour on the varnish. So I turned the sprayer on high and we flooded the walls, just flooded everything with the varnish, and then back brushed everything. Where before we would not do much back brushing. We'd go a light coat. So I'm happy to announce after just 2 coats here, this is feeling really nice. There's some good body on here because the end result for my home and for a customer's home when we varnish, we want there to be some material on there. We want that to be really smooth. And up on this beam, I discovered something else. We normally don't sand between coats up above where we can reach. And this beam has not been sanded between coats, and it is glossy smooth. Very smooth. So 2 coats on that are looking really good, but like I said, we're gonna give it 1 more. Let's have a quick peek around and see how things are looking. 2 coats on this archway. Really nice, really nice. And we give ourselves some heat with the propane so that it stays warm in here. It's not very cold outside, but we like some heat so things dry well. The product does need to have a warm temperature to dry. This archway into our bathroom is amazingly smooth. Let's take a peek farther out. Window bench, very smooth. I'm going to blow off those insects that I've gathered. Where's my blower? Rebecca, did you see the blower?
I was wondering where's that?
Maybe I took it upstairs. Is that stair dry enough to walk on? She walked up the stairway, which she wasn't really supposed to because we had just varnished that this morning. Let's check it out. Do you have the blower up there? Oh, there comes my pro help. There's Foster. Got his mask. Got some new cartridges in there. Iffy. He came back from lunch, so we're gonna put this last coat on, but. Can you hand the blower up down here, or is it not up there, Rebecca? Can you hand it to me, please? I don't want to walk on these stairs. Might be fine. Dry. Yeah, it's pretty dry, but your feet are clean. All right, I'm gonna blow the insects off this shelf. So we have a bunch of flies that died. Let me share with you why these flies have died. I want to blow them off before we... On some of the finish, we're putting in the bug juice in the finish, and when they land on this dried finish, it kills the flies. So, this is what goes in the finish. Let me share with you. Bug juice from Walla Walla, Washington, from the Walla Walla Environmental Company. This goes into a 5-gallon bucket. It's safe for humans, but it's toxic for insects. So we mix this into 1 pail of the Timber Pro crystal urethane. And that bug juice, once it's on the walls and dried on the surface, the whole house becomes a giant fly trap. I'm going to blow all the shelves off of dead flies and things before we put the last coat on here. Okay, Foster, did you fix any of the masking? All the broken plastics are repaired now? There was one back, that door was messed up back there. Remember that? Yeah, I see the door back there's hanging loose. I think that might have been it. When we were doing the varnish yesterday, shut this heater off, it's pretty hot. I noticed this tore off on the door. So that's all right, we'll just matter of taping that back up again.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else.
I think that's it. Okay, we're gonna wrap up the door and stir up a little paint, and then we're ready to go. Not paint, varnish. I've got to get my protective suit on. It's kind of inside out. The Timber Pro plant-based varnish is pretty safe, but we still like to put a suit on and mask up. I wear some old clothes, as you can tell, painter's clothes, because they get pretty dirty. And so this covers your whole body. This is the final coat of stains, or varnish, so this thing's about wore out, but it'll work. Hang together till I'm done. I've got to mix a couple buckets of varnish with the bug juice. We use a commercial sprayer, the Titan 440, and that's a sprayer that'll last for a long time. It does a really good job. I've got to fill the bucket up with varnish. This has been pre-mixed with the bug juice. Buckets are sealed with a plastic strip you have to take off. And then you open the bucket. I've got this bucket by the warm stove so that the finish is nice and warm. I don't like to spray with cold finish. I like to spray with a nice warm finish. I'm going to dump this bug juice into it. Needs to be stirred. I put this little drill I get from the hardware, a paint stirring attachment to the drill, and you stir it for a few minutes. Stir that's what's in the pail there. I put this lid on with a cutout, fits there, keeps it from evaporating. Now I can't talk anymore. Put this mask on. We're ready to start staining, varnishing. Aria and Joanna and Alex. Where's Alex? There's Alex. They're taking the paper off the windows. You already got that off. The blue tape and the plastic. Did you make this pile, Alex, on the floor with all the plastic?
Yep.
Good job. He's taking all the plastic off the windows. So now we can see out the windows.
I'm just gonna stick this right here.
You stick it right there. It's sticky, isn't it?
Where it goes.
That's on the outside. No, that's got the factory plastic on it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You need a knife to help with that, or?
I got a knife.
Can I?
Is that what I should do?
Oh, it's fine. Aria, is there anything left to pull off? Hey, back here. Check this out back here. Or where are you at?
Down there.
Hey, you want to check this back here? Let's pull this off. Get a video of you pulling this paper off back here by this door. Want to do that? So Aria's going to pull this off here.
Pulled that off.
Oh, that's already off. Okay.
I pulled it off.
Well, there's a little bit more over here you can pull off right there. Start right this corner. Pull this corner. There you go. Kids love doing that. There you go. Try that. There, that's fun, right? Here, try this. Pull on that one. Oops. Try that. Now we can see out the window.
Hey, I'm sorry.
All right. Alex is gonna try that one.
Hey, I was gonna do those.
Here, let's get this ladder. You can climb up this little green ladder and get that. You can throw the blue stuff on the ground. Don't go on the top step. Just go right there. There you go. That's how you do. Let's get you, give you a start here. Here, go like this. Take that. They're having too much fun, right, Alex?
Yeah. I have to do it carefully so there isn't any left blue stuff.
Right.
Should get this off with my new knife. Almost got this done.
One of these days, Alex and Aria, when this is all done, we're gonna have you guys up for dinner, right?
Okay.
Last night we were at your house, or was it 2 nights ago at your house for Mexican? Yep. They have a little log cabin with a loft, right, Alex?
Yeah.
And we were at their place for dinner. But when this house is done, then you're coming to our place for dinner.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun. Taking the plastic off the windows. As a look after a day after the third and last coat of varnish is on. Everything's dried well. Walls are smooth. The two center windows were a mistake. The factory did a wrong window, so they sent me 2 windows to replace those frosted ones. Those are not supposed to be frosted glass. The 2 windows are sitting right outside there. So I gotta replace those. That sure makes a difference in how it looks in here. Nice and airy and bright.